Hello there and welcome. In this video I'm going to show you how you can send email with the help of SendGrid from your Django web application. This is not a sponsored video. Basically SendGrid has a free tier user which can send X amount of emails for free, and technically this is what I planned to integrate here on my app. So let's go ahead and use the Django admin to create project YT email app and start project. And here what we would like to do is to use the start app mailer. And let's go ahead and open up our code editor. And what do we have to do? Basically, we have to have Django and send grid installed. And these are basically the first dependencies. Next thing that we would like to do is to go to our settings file and add our mailer.apps.mailer config. And we would like to use the base dir templates under our templates folder. And basically we would like to have the templates folder at the root directory with the index.html. Inside the index.html we will basically have an h1 tag stating welcome, and after that we have an href tag which points us to the URL of the mailer, and technically we send email. Alright, after that what we would like to do is to go to our URLs file, and here we want to add two new paths. So first path is going to come from the views.index file, and we name it index. And the second path comes from the include statement of the mailer.urls. And here we would like to import the views and also the include. And let's create our views file. Inside our views we will have the Django shortcuts and import render, and our index function which takes a request and returns the render with the request, and the index.html. I think that's all that we would like to configure in our project level, and we would like to go further to the mailer. So inside the mailer what we would like to do first is to go to the admin file, and here we will have a model called contact mail. So from models we import contact mail, and on the admin.site.register we would like to register the contact mail. We will define it. Under the apps what we would like to do is to have the ready function and basically import the mailer.signals. We will define the signals file, and this is needed so that we can trigger a functionality post save of the contact mail form, which will trigger sending the email. All right, the next thing that we would like to do is to create a forms.py, and inside our forms we would like to go from the Django forms and import model form, and from that models import contact mail, and basically we will have a contact form from the model form, and it will have the meta class with the model contact mail, and the fields will be the Jolly Joker, so we want all the available fields. Inside our models, what we would like to do is to import from the UUID module the UUID4 and create our contact mail class, and it will be a model based class, and we will have an ID, a title, a description, and an email address. And we will have a stir function which will return basically an f string from self.email address, and the title self.title. So the ID is going to be basically the UUID field. The title is going to be a car field. The model is going to be, or rather the description is going to be a text field, and the email address is going to be an email field. And yeah, that should be all for our models file. And we will have the signals, and inside the signals we want to define what should happen when we save a form, which is going to be the contact mail. So let's import a few things. From models, import the contact mail. From Django.db.models.signals, import the post save, and from Django.dispatch, import receiver, and we also have to import the OS. And from send grid, we would like to import the send grid API client and send grid, and from send grid that helpers that mail, we import the mail. And basically the receiver decorator will decorate the sender contact mail with the send email function. And we will have a sender, an instance, and the quarks, and the message is going to look something like this. I will copy paste it. So basically it will be an object of the mail instance, and it will have a from field, a to field, which is specified by the email address, the subject, which is the title, and the content. And after that, what we would like to do is to try and send our email. So that should be it, and we need to have the SendGrid API key in the OS environment. So basically, if you go to the SendGrid interface under Settings, API keys, you should be able to create an API key, and you name the key, you select the access, and basically it will give you a key. That one you have to go to the sysdm.cpl. So system properties, advanced environment variables, and here you have to add with the new, set the name, set the value. And what's important is that you have to restart your console for it to pick up these environment variables. I already done that, so I will not do it, but basically that's the way to do it. So now we have to create our urls.py, and inside our urls.py we will have the Django.urls path, and from that import views and the URL patterns, we will have one path which is called send, and it will be from the views.index, and the name is going to be mailer. Wow. So we are almost there. We will try to send the email with the admin interface and send the email with the form as well. So let's define our views. So from forms, we need to import the contact form, and we will have the index function which takes a request, and if the request method is post, then the form will come from the contact form with the request post message. If the form is valid, then we save the form, and this is when the post save will trigger, which we defined in the signals file. So basically, if a valid form is submitted, we save it and then send the email. And we return redirect to the mailer. Otherwise, the form is going to be contact form, and the context is going to be a form with the form instance, and return render request, and we use the mailer /index.html with the context. Alright, we need the redirect, and the final thing that we have to do is to create our templates folder, and inside the templates folder we create our mailer and our index.html. I will copy paste the code. So basically this is going to be our form, and that's it. So we have the form, we need to have the CSRF token, then we have the title, the message, and the email address that we want to use. And we don't need this. I'm building a website for my fiancé, and this is where I repurpose the code from. Okay, so let's save it and try to bring our application live. So we need to use the manage.py to migrate and make migrations, and use the manage.py to create super user. And yeah, gmail.com. And now we migrate once again, and we use the Python manage.py run server. All right. So as you can see, we have the welcome message, and we will be redirected to this form, which allows us to define our title, message, and email address. Let's go to our admin interface, and inside here, Reaper Pi, we should be able to go to the contact mails, new contact mail, demo, and welcome to send grid. And I would like to send the email to myself. And let's save it. And it takes some time, but if it is able to successfully call the API to send an email, we should be able to see a line here with mentioning success. And if I go to my email, you will be able to see that the message has arrived. So Gmail has a problem with this message because it came from the sendgrid.net domain, and it tries to show me that this is fishy, but it works. Next thing that we try is the from web form. This was sent from web, and I would like to also send it to myself. Post. For post form, you need to have this, or maybe there is a problem with the form. So CSRF token, post mailer, and send. All right. So let's see. All right. Let's try it once again. And there we go. So now, as you can see, the email has also arrived. Basically, that's it. And that was all I wanted to show you. Now you know how to send emails with the help of SendGrid and Django. See you in the next one.